Welcome back. As the weather gets warmer, more people are going to be heading outside to exercise, but as nice as it may be to spend time in the sun, it could take a toll on your body.
Yeah, it could, and that's why we're here to tell you the do's and don'ts of exercising in the heat. Joining us in studio to share some helpful tips is cardiologist Sindhu Koshy. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Koshy. What does heat do, or excessive heat outside, do to the body when exercising?
So we want everybody to exercise. As a cardiologist, I always want you to exercise. But what heat does is our body wants to maintain our core temperature. When you have too much heat, we're trying really hard to get back to that temperature. So then we start to sweat. When you start to sweat, you lose that fluid, your blood pressure starts dropping. When that happens, your heart rate starts to go faster because you're trying to maintain your blood pressure. For those people who are elderly, who are already susceptible to those things, or people on blood pressure medicines, or may have been ill recently or dehydrated, these things can cause problems. So in excessive heat, which we would consider 90 degrees and above, we don't want people out there for long periods of time without adequate hydration.
Okay, I used to be part of a workout group when I lived along the Gulf Coast, so it's really hot out there. And I was out there trying my best to keep up, and it's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Breathing well, I couldn't breathe because the sun was intense. So I know that there's a lot of people who do believe that there are benefits to being in that extreme heat.
Right.
Are there any?
There are probably not any big benefits to being in extreme heat. Again, you might notice maybe a minimal weight loss because you lose some weight with loss of fluid and you're sweating, but you're going to gain that back, and it's probably more detrimental in extreme heat. Again, we would love everybody to exercise every day, and as Michiganders, we wait for those like few months of warmth to get out there, but we definitely want you to avoid it in extreme heat.
So back in the day, we were talking about a little bit ago, my parents used to wear the sweatsuits, the plastic sweatsuits, to kind of sweat out more. Could that actually lead to more problems than good?
Yep, so even now, if you're sweating that much, but you're not replacing that fluid, our body needs that fluid again to maintain the temperature, to keep us from getting dehydrated, which can cause kidney failure, which can cause you to lose consciousness. And so if we're not replacing that fluid, then you've just lost all that sweat, and maybe you feel like you lost a little bit of fluid weight, but you really haven't done anything but hurt yourself.
But if you overheat then, or maybe they do that and you start to feel that, what are the things that you can do in that moment to try to quickly bring your temperature back down?
So ideally, you want to get into the shade as quickly as possible if you're outside and you're heating up. The idea is to cool down and help your body to cool down back to your regular temperature. So get into the shade. And definitely always, if you're going to be outside, you need to take something for hydration. So make sure you're replacing that water as quickly as possible. Sports drinks are fine if you're going to be out in extreme heat, but cold water, and if you can get inside back into air conditioning, that would be the ideal and best thing to do. So not being out for long periods of time would be the best.
Is it better to do like a low impact workout versus a really rigorous one if you're going to be out in the heat?
Yep, so I would think that, of course, swimming, ideally in the heat, would be the perfect thing because you're out in the water, but make sure you're hydrating. Don't, that false sense of I'm in the water, so I'm hydrating, it doesn't work. You have to hydrate. And then walking, maybe not running outside. If you're a runner, maybe running in extreme heat is not the best thing, but walking would still be fine. Hiking, you'd have to be careful with, especially if you're going up on elevations, because again, in extreme heat, that can be a problem.
We'd also discussed some of the signs of heat exhaustion. So are there things that people need to keep in mind if they can tell that their body is sending off an alarm, like I'm not okay?
Yep, so all those things that where you don't feel good. If you don't feel good, your body's telling you, hey, you need to stop. So those are things like you're getting dizzy, lightheaded, that headache that you get in the heat, where your eyes just want to close, you get fatigued, muscle cramping, excessive sweating, dry mouth, any of those things, and that extreme thirst. When you feel extremely thirsty, that's your body telling you, you need water, it's time to stop now.
Yeah, just to be clear so that people understand, excessive sweating does not equal excessive calorie burning.
No, it does not. No, it doesn't. I think there was at a time, we did believe that, if you were out there like in a sauna, for example, sweating it out, you would lose weight. But again, it is very temporary because you are going to replace that fluid loss because your body needed it.
Yeah.
Also, too, I know we're approaching summer, a lot of summer programs, maybe athletic teams for after-school programs. What should parents keep in mind as far as young people are concerned when it comes to being out in the heat?
So hydration, 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 and hydration. So water definitely, and for young kids, sports drinks are just fine. My daughter plays on a soccer team that just ended, and they were playing in that 90-degree heat.
And she's how old?
She's 8.
Okay.
And so, I mean, we had Gatorade, we had water, cold, refreshing drinks. But of course, when your child says, like, it's hot, you want to get them out of that sun as quickly as possible. So not long periods of time out in the sun. So summer camps and things, they need to have a shaded area where we can get back into the shade as quickly as possible.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did I cut you off? Did you have another?
No, we're
Okay,
good.
awesome.
I think we got it covered.
Great
Make sure you're
information.
drinking
Thank you so
plenty of
much.
liquids. Stay out of the heat.